You can travel the multiverse.
Nope.
Proven.
This May.
Rule number 1 of multiversal travel. You don't know anything.
Enter the multiverse, where anything is possible.
What's rule number 2?
Look out!
Smart kid.
Marvel Studios, Doctor Strange, only in cinemas.
Another day, another TV spot trailer for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now the movie comes out next week and we should all be very, very excited. And every single TV spot trailer that comes out indicates one thing in particular. There are a ton of surprises that we still have no idea about. Sure, we know Wanda's probably the main villain of the movie. We know America Chavez can jump through the multiverse with her powers and will be introduced to the MCU. We even know the Illuminati featuring Patrick Stewart as a version of Professor X, probably in a golden wheelchair, will be happening in this movie. But every TV spot, including this one, has given us new updates and new information. Namely, in this TV spot trailer, the Living Tribunal. Now, he has shown up in other TV spot trailers, but it is always worth mentioning in case some of you guys missed out. Now, who is the Living Tribunal? Now, this is a big character. Not necessarily a bad guy, although sometimes featured as a villain that needs to be defeated or his will needs to be curved. However, he is in charge of the multiverse. There is only one of this character. There are not variants of this character. He does not exist multiple times throughout the multiverse like Iron Man might or Doctor Strange might, as we're about to see. There is one Living Tribunal and he monitors the multiverse. So as we see him here in this trailer, it's possible that he's just keeping an eye out on everything that is going on. And this could be a theme throughout the movie. We see his head pop up and he's watching different things happening in the multiverse, determining whether or not he needs to get involved. Obviously, his inclusion in the film has come as a little bit of a surprise, especially since they revealed this in TV spot trailers. However, it's definitely something worth getting excited about, as Kevin Feige yesterday at CinemaCon has revealed that they have plotted out the next 10 years of Marvel movies. Yes, we have Marvel content for sure coming our way until 2032. It's very likely that these next 10 years will be the next saga, the next, Infinity War saga, but the multiverse saga. It's going to be Secret Wars coming 8 years from now and the big finale of everything that we're going to be leading up to. And it is extremely exciting to hear that coming from Kevin Feige, that they have all gone up to a summit. They were literally in person together, and now we should get ready for the story. Up until this point, we were given seeds, we were given ideas and different paths that the MCU could travel down. And many of you guys have even complained about how there wasn't really a destination. Right now it seems like they're just throwing stuff out there and seeing what sticks. However, although I'm sure there was some idea, some plan, there is now a firm plan. All of the creative people were out there with Kevin Feige. They said they had a huge whiteboard and they were drawing all of the crazy yarn, making it look like a masterpiece. So I'm really excited now that they have the direction, they know where they're going. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is kicking it off next week, and this TV spot trailer showed us exactly what it is we should be getting excited for. Some other new dialogue comes from America Chavez, who says to Doctor Strange, rules about multiversal traveling. Now, it seems like this is coming during their introduction, where she kind of shows up, because they're in the streets of New York, and we know from different plot leaks, which, maybe you disagree that they're real, but I kind of believe, that say that they're going to be introduced during this fight with Gargantos. She's going to show up looking for help because she's running away from all these demons that keep chasing her, which Wanda has been sending at her to get her into this reality, so Wanda can use her to travel the multiverse. However, she says to Doctor Strange, rule number 1 of traveling the multiverse, you don't know anything. This is particularly interesting, especially since in Spider-Man No Way Home, although Doctor Strange admits he doesn't know much about multiversal travel, he says we know frighteningly little, so he knows something. He thinks he understands to some level the multiverse, and following Spider-Man No Way Home, you would assume he probably tried to study up and learn as much as he could about the multiverse, especially since now he has straight up interacted with it, he's tampered with it, and whatever happens moving forward that might be multiversal inclusive, he's going to need to know how to combat and how to defend it to the best of his ability. So my assumption is Doctor Strange would go and learn about the multiverse following No Way Home. And here's America Chavez saying, you know nothing. Rule number 2 was, of course, look out. Now, whether that was interrupted by something coming their way or she's just trying to be funny, I don't know. But rule number 2 was look out in the trailer. This is the interesting part, though. I like the idea of introducing rules for the multiverse. We've been talking about this here on the channel for a long time, that the multiverse has to have rules. It can't just do whatever it wants. It can't be willy-nilly. They need to explain to us what happens if somebody travels from one multiverse to another and decides to stay there. What are the repercussions? What are the consequences of the multiverse? And again, there will be consequences, but what are the finite laws? What are always the consequences? What is something that you cannot change about the multiverse? And I hope that we do get that explanation, and I hope that these rules that are being highlighted here go on further in the series, or rather the movie. In the movie, while she's talking to Doctor Strange, she continuously is updating rules of the multiverse. Oh, rule number 37, you actually can't remain in a different world for more than a certain amount of time or you disappear. Stuff like that would give us clarity on how the multiverse can be used moving forward, especially since Kevin Feige has confirmed the multiverse is going to be a heavy part of the next 10 years of Marvel. That's not a little deal. It's not like, oh, here's the multiverse, let's mess around with it, we can get a couple characters from the Fox universe, let's bring Deadpool over, let's show some cameos, and then, we can just simply close the multiverse and move on life as is. It sounds like the multiverse is leading further and further into the MCU, eventually bringing us to what I would assume is Secret Wars Battle World, with one of the coolest, most intricate comic book stories that are out there, and it's going to be a task to bring it on the big screen. It's reassuring that we're hearing the next 10 years of project is on its way, because this will be several years down the road in order for them to nail it. And that's really what we should have expected from Marvel from the beginning. They're not going to try to put out a Secret Wars movie 2 years from now. It's going to be 10 years down the road, and it's going to be intense. Plenty of time for the X-Men to get involved in the MCU, plenty of time for us to learn how the multiverse works, for new heroes to be introduced, for different variants maybe to even be introduced, and to have an opportunity to gain a little bit of love from the fans. And of course, time for God Emperor Doom. We should hopefully be getting a Doom movie or a Doom series, Doom in the Fantastic Four, where we're going to be learning about him as a character. He'll get the traditional Doctor Doom, which will eventually lead up to him taking over all of the multiverses and creating the Battle World scenario. This will be an absolute blast, and nobody could pull it off the way that Disney and the MCU will be able to pull it off. I have full confidence in Feige and with the crew. I hope their summit went very well, but this trailer gets me excited for the future of the MCU. We talk about rules, we talk about the living tribunal who is right there in front of us watching everything happen in the Multiverse of Madness. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comment section down below. As always, thank you to everybody who did watch till the end of the video. If you found it helpful, useful, or interesting, consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one right here on Cosmic Culture.